What is the best real estate brokerage to join for a newly licensed real estate agent? Well, rather than pointing you towards a specific company in this video, I wanted to simplify what your actual options are if you're getting started in the real estate industry today, because essentially there's three options, and I'm going to dive into exactly what those options are for you right here in this video. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Tyler Roicki. I help people build income and wealth in real estate, and I run an international real estate team at eXp Realty. If you get any value whatsoever out of this video, all I'd ask is that you like, comment, and hit that subscribe button so that I can continue to share more tips and resources with you in the time ahead. And with that in mind, let's dive right into the video. So let's simplify things. There's really three options that you've got if you're getting started in the real estate industry today. There's three kinds of brokerages that you could possibly join. And I'm going to dive into exactly what they are, and I'm going to leave you with some tips on how to compare and contrast. That way you can find the best option for yourself. So the first option that you have is your local independent brokerage. And this is everything from your mom and pop, one-man broker, independent broker, all the way up to a very large independent broker office. There's offices out there that close in on close to 1,000 agents. So within that, you've got a pretty wide spectrum, because what you got to consider is if you have a one-man show, one-woman show as far as a broker goes, what kind of systems, what kind of support do they have in place? Are you 100% reliant on that one person and their availability for support? Versus if you have a larger independent broker, they might have some more systems and help and support in place beyond just them and themselves. So got to factor that in. But option one is your local independent. Option two is your big franchise. These are your big brand name companies, your Keller Williams, your Century 21s, your Remaxes, your Coldwell Bankers, and many others. But these are big franchise companies. And what you got to understand about those companies is, even though the brand name may look the same from area to area, market to market, these offices are all independently owned and operated. So they have different franchise owners. They're not necessarily all connected to each other like companies in other industries you might see, where you get the same experience, the same kind of culture behind it. It can very much differ office to office. But essentially, all franchises are the same in the way of how the actual company is structured. But some will say they've got the best training, others will say they've got the best branding, and they all have different parts of their value proposition that they lead with. But the structure behind it all is the same. That's what's important to understand. Now, the third option that you have is something very different than those first two, and it's your cloud-based brokerages. And a cloud-based brokerage could not be more different than a franchise and even an independent. In fact, between a independent that's on the larger side of things and a franchise, those two structures are very similar compared to what a cloud is if you compare it to either of those. It's, so the cloud is the most different of these three. And the difference is, I'm not going to necessarily dive into all of them in this video, but the fact is, it's how the agents get what they need on a daily basis. It's completely different. And I'll tell you this, if you're looking at the cloud-based companies, fact is there is no company that does it like eXp. None at all. eXp is the company that created the cloud-based brokerage structure, and they are leaps and bounds, literally years ahead of the curve for anyone else that is in this entire space. And that is a fact. You can look it up. But bottom line is, I want to really pinpoint how you can best compare and contrast these three options as you're assessing which direction you want to go. And so you're going to want to compare based on the pillars of a real estate business, which generally speaking, there's 4 pillars of the real estate business, but there's actually more depending on which of these 3 options you look at. So let's talk about the 4, and these are the 4 points you'll compare and contrast with each situation. 1 is support. What does the company have in the way of support? What kind of layers of support are available? Is it just the broker directly that you have help and support with, or are there more people that you can turn to and lean on? And I'm not just talking about agents, I'm talking about the actual support staff and infrastructure within the company or brokerage that you're joining. So that's number one. Pillar number one, we're gonna need support from the brokerage to operate our real estate business. Pillar number two is your training and masterminding. So that's another area you can compare and contrast. You will find companies out there that have little to nothing to offer in the way of trainings, and then you'll find others out there that have a whole curriculum of training available and then some. So it's important to look at, well, what training do you have access to? When do you have access to it? Who is teaching it? What kind of masterminding is available with the other agents, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the second pillar. The third is leads. What is the brokerage doing, if anything, to put their agents in a position where they have more opportunities, more leads coming in? And I tell you, of all the things you can compare and contrast, leads is the biggest thing that is, there's a tendency for it to be overpromised and underdelivered in our industry. So you want to assess not just how many leads and how often am I getting them from the brokerage, but like, what does the brokerage have in place to put you in a position to get more leads? Not necessarily what are they going to give you, but how are they going to equip you and put you give you opportunities to get more leads if you're showing up and doing all the right things. So that's the third pillar. And the fourth is the compensation. So there's different business models out there, different ways that the broker is going to collect their money. Some are going to lead with more of a flat fee cost structure. Others are going to have more of a commission and potentially a cap. But there's all sorts of ways brokerages divvy up how it is they're going to get their money. They're going to get it one way or another though. But bottom line is, look at the compensation model and figure out what that looks like and what the opportunity is with that. And for most companies out there, those are the four pillars. Now, to be very clear, cloud-based companies, they tend to have more of flexibility to offer more, because since they're cloud-based, they're able to eliminate a majority of the fixed overhead that generally exists operating any of those bricks and mortar based models. So what are some of the things that a cloud-based company can do? Well, they can add a couple more pillars, which, speaking specifically of EXP's case, two big pillars that they add to the whole value proposition are ownership and revenue sharing. So agent ownership, the ability to share in the ownership, upside, and equity of the actual company, which is publicly traded on the NASDAQ, one of the largest stock exchanges in the world. But like it or not, if you're an agent at EXP Realty, you will get a piece of that ownership pie just by selling real estate, building your business. And then revenue sharing, it is an opportunity available. Most companies out there are set up in a way to share the bottom line profit back with the owners of the company. This company, since we are agent owned, that, and on top of the fact that the whole company is set up to actually share revenue off the top with the agents, it's a substantial opportunity that does exist. So those two pillars get added, which it makes for a total of 3 pillars on the whole compensation model that we have with this particular cloud-based company and opportunity. So like I said, completely different than anything else out there, but I'm just seeing the tip of the iceberg on why it is different. But regardless, you should take those pillars and compare and contrast your options. You're gonna go one of 3 directions getting started. You're either gonna go with your local independent, whether it's a big or small operation. Your next option is gonna be your big franchise brand name, which they're all the same. They just have different pieces of the value equation that they emphasize. And yeah, you'll see different cultures from office to office. You'll get a different feel for things, but you got your big franchise, and then you got your cloud-based companies, which there's more and more of them popping up out there, but I am telling you, there is no one that does it like EXP Realty does, on the absolute forefront of that movement. Completely different value proposition and a completely different point in the industry than anyone else doing it. So those are your 3 options. And here's what I tell you. If you have any questions, if you want to lean on me, my expertise in the industry, I'm happy to connect more if you're trying to figure out which direction you want to go. If you want some more insights on how to best compare, contrast, I am more than happy to connect if you're in a position in your business where you're looking to take your next best foot forward in this industry and to truly make great things happen with it. So do this. If it would be helpful for you, go ahead and reach out and connect with me. You'll find my email and some other helpful information for you in the description below. And if you got value out of this video, all I would ask is that you like, comment, and hit that subscribe button so that I can continue to share more tips and resources with you in the time ahead. And all that being said, thank you so much for watching the video, and until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.